This episode is brought to you by Click and Grow.
The incredibly lovely people over at Click and Grow have sent me a new goodie. Yay! Gadgetry, I love it. So this is an indoor herb garden, or plant garden really, and it's a little kind of hydroponic sort of system, I think. So I thought I'd unbox it on video. And I've also sent an Italian herb set, so I'm going to get it all set up. They've sent me the Smart Garden 9 Pro, which is like a really high featured one. Lots of gadgetry to be going on with. The intent of a kit like this is to grow plants indoors in a little self-contained unit that just takes care of everything. I think I just need to top it up with water every now and then. And it grows plants 30 to 50% faster. So I'm hoping within a matter of weeks, maybe a month or two, I'm going to have some amazing plants to munch on. Winner, winner, non-chicken dinner. So let's open the box, see what's in there. Oh, and I've also got some more bits inside. Fabulous. So it also comes with some green lettuce, mini tomatoes, basil. That already in itself is going to be a delicious salad. Here we have it. Fairly large and fairly light as well for the size. But I do need to put a load of water in it, which will make it heavy. So this unit has got 9 little recesses for the cups. So you've got a plastic cup that has a wick on the bottom, and that goes into the water. And then I've got a little smart soil pod. So that's soil and the seeds. And this one is thyme. So pop that in, put the lid on top, and then there's a little germination dome. You pop that on and it creates like a greenhouse sort of thing. Put that in there. And then I need to buy a washable pen. I don't have one, so I'm going to use masking tape and a Sharpie. And just repeat. I've got all the pots filled up. So I've got 1 thyme, 2 marjoram, 2 lettuce, 2 tomato and 2 basil. I think that should give a really nice first batch, make a nice little salad, and a pesto probably. And then we will pick it up kind of week by week and see how these sprouts are doing. I'm also going to sit down and read through the manual, which I should have done first really, but I like to live free and loose. But this thing is Bluetooth connectivity, so you wire it to the app and hopefully the app's going to tell me and remind me to do things. So I'm quite excited about this. I feel like Matt Damon in The Martian, but with less feces. So I'll see you back here for an update in a little bit. We're at 17 days since I set up the garden. Let's go have a look. So here it is in all its glowing glory. The thyme's still quite small, as is the marjoram. Remember I did 2 pods of marjoram, little basils there and there. Now the tomatoes have come on quite well. And once they'd sprouted quite a bit, you have to thin them out. So I decided to pop the ones I'd thinned in some rock wool, and I'm just growing those to see if anything happens. And nothing's died yet. It's one of the lettuces, so that's doing well. But then this one, that's doing very well. So it's kind of mind-blowing how quickly stuff grows in there. You know, this is 17 days now, and within, I think, 2.5, 3 days, I had sprouts already. It's April 31st, a month and 2 days to be exact, since I planted the garden. So let's go and have a little look-see, shall we? I've had to move some stuff around. So the lettuce before was kind of in those 2, but you can see the size of them and it was starting to grow over everything else. So I've popped those to the sides. This is the first week that the marjoram has started to look like that. It's been a little bit limp and lifeless for the last few weeks, but it seems to be coming on okay, especially this one at the back. That's in the last couple of days. Ooh, in the last couple of days, that one's really sprung up. Now those tomatoes that I did in the rock wool, they're not doing so well really, but hey ho, it's good to try these things. But the main tomatoes themselves, they're looking great. So there, I think they're going to be little flowers, so I'll have to pollinate those once they bloom. And that thyme, that's starting to come on as well. And the smell, it's, you know, everything's smelling really nice as well. And then the basil, very tidy little basil. Yeah, that's coming on nicely as well. It's June 13th, so I thought I'd do a little check-in, see how everything's going. The lettuces have done really well. They sprang up quickly and then produced a lot of leaves. So I've been nomming on those in salads and sandwiches. There's the other one. So I think that's probably one more sandwich, maybe a very small side salad. And then the marjoram here, very wild. So there's 2 plants in there. And it's kind of trailing all over the place. And then the thyme, that's doing very well. Another little messy one. And I really enjoy the purple leaves underneath. So it's green with purple underneath, which I just think is very pretty. And the tomatoes are coming on really well. Very bushy, so that's one, and there's the other one. I've put in some extra long matchsticks. I just ripped off the striking head bit just to give the plants a bit of support, especially as the tomatoes hopefully grow. They just need that extra bit of structure to grow against. So I've noticed the other day the best way of doing the pollen is just to flick the flower. And you'll see the pollen fluffs up into the air. And the flowers are quite robust, so don't be too worried about breaking them. Oh, and I've put these coffee stirrers in just to give a bit of extra support to the plant. It's June 27th. We're just shy of 2 months since I first planted up the Smart Garden. So I'm going to do a little wrap up for you, give you a couple of tips of things that I've kind of noticed as the weeks have gone by. And I'm also going to make a little herb paste. So like a pesto, or there's a Yemenite one called zhug, I think I'm pronouncing that right. And that's a mixture of chilies and fresh herbs. Something you could put on pasta or on tofu and make a great marinade, or even just on a bit of salad or hummus and pita, that kind of thing. So let's go and have a look at the garden. So I think I've probably moved some stuff around since the last check-in. So I've got the thyme, and then really cute little basils there. And the tomatoes are coming on incredibly well. It's very, very cute. I did a yellow pepper, sweet pepper, and then it's a type of chili called Little Elf. Now I forgot to put the domes on for like 3 days, and I suddenly remembered. So I might have to restart these. I don't know if I've messed it up. Then one of the marjoram. And then that's the other marjoram that I did. Now this one has gone very wilted and sad and kind of dead, and I'm not really sure what's happened. So I'm going to email customer support, kind of technical support, and see if they've got any suggestions as to what happened, and then I can, advise you of that when I do the edit. So we'll head back into the kitchen and get cracking with the herb paste. I'm doing some confit garlic, same as I did for the olive tapenades. I'll stick the link there for you. And it's just taking a bit longer than I anticipated. Because I'm doing 3 bulbs of garlic, because I've still got loads that I over-ordered. So yeah, I just need to let that kind of poach, simmer down very gently it's about kind of 95 degrees C. So I've trimmed off the end of the garlic where it's attached to the bulb sort of root, and peeled the skins off, and then just submerge them in olive oil. And I'll use maybe a third, so a whole bulb of garlic. And I'll go gather the herbs. Pulled out the ones I want, so I've got the 2 marjorams. I'll see if I can salvage anything from that wilted one of the basils, and the thyme, so that's all going to go in. One thing I kept noticing is in the bit that was exposed to the air on the soil, it gets kind of mould or like a mossy lichen sort of thing. All you need to do is gently scrape it off, and then I've sprinkled cinnamon over the top, and that helps prevent against it. But it's not harmful in any way. That's when I emailed support last time. They said it's fine, it's not a major deal. I did move the pods around a few times, so if something was looking like it wasn't, doing quite as well, I just put them into the centre ones. They seem to have the most growth, really. With the garlic, do feel free to put it in there raw. But there is a risk of botulism when you try and do things with garlic, kind of long-term type things, preserving it and that sort of thing. So I want to err on the side of caution with it a bit, just so that I can keep it in the fridge for a while, and without having to worry about it. So yes, just wanted to make that note. So do a little bit of research on the internet and make your own judgments about it. If you're doing it for a party or a couple of days, then absolutely bang it in raw. That's fine. I'm gonna have a bit of this on the side for my dinner, and I made some tempeh. So this is the purple tempeh, as I'm calling it. So it's cowpeas, sunflower seeds, black sesame. I'll stick a little info card there for you. And I'm just going to marinate that now, so then it has a bit of time to permeate. So I thought I'd share the marinade with you. And then when I was pulling bits out of the fridge for the marinade, I remembered I had some of the Coke glazes, boiled down a bottle of Coke. One is tequila, Coke and Chipotle, and the other one is kind of Asian type flavors. So 5 spice, what else did I put in there? Star anise, that kind of thing. So I'm gonna bang everything together, bit of ketchup, maybe some Chipotle chili paste. So these are the 2 glazes. And on the off chance that you don't happen to have a bottle of cola syrup, feel free to use date molasses, treacle, maple syrup, anything that's kind of sweet really. Stick some ketchup in and I'll mix it together, some blobbing in, I don't know, maybe a teaspoon of Chipotle paste, and then just slather it over. Check the garlic. Yep, so beautifully soft, ready to go. Start with the wilted one first and just try and salvage bits of that if I can. Nice, healthy, lush one. I'm just going to pick out the really thick stems from the basil. So again, just tear the leaves off the main stalk. And that's the time. Start adding in the other bits and pieces. So I'm going to chuck in several green chilies, pickled green chilies, some black pepper, a few spoonfuls of the garlic. And I'm just trying to drain off some of the excess oil back in there because I want to keep them in a jar submerged in oil. I'm going to add some of this, which is the potato powder cheese that I made. This is the one that I smoked and took it down to a parmesan. So it's got a really nice salty umami flavour. I'm going to fine grate some lemon rind in there. Lemon zest. Good glug of olive oil. I use extra virgin olive oil. Start with about half a tablespoon, and I can always add a bit more. And then give this a whisk. Give it a try at this point. That's really good. There's lots of different layers in the flavour. The marjoram is quite aromatic and sort of aftershave perfume, that kind of heady top notes. Then you've got that really nice sweet subtleness from the garlic. And then the thyme is there, and the basil just adds a little bit of fresh. I'm going to add in about a teaspoon of cappuccino capers, just to give it a little salty zinginess. A bit more cheese, and then blitz this. Yeah, the capers round out the flavour and take it, I don't know, sideways. It's the only way I can think to describe it. Just makes it really nice and round. Deep flavours. And I'm going to add in some sesame seeds, maybe a teaspoon, something like that, and mix those in. The reason for doing the seeds in at this stage is otherwise they'd have got all blended down, and I wanted to keep them intact really. And then I'm going to pack it into a sterilised jar. Once it's in the jar, I'm going to bang it down. Try and minimise the air bubbles in there, pockets of air. And then I'm going to clear it all away from the neck and try and get everything at the same level. And then I'll top that with oil. I'm going to use a bit of kitchen roll, just because that's going to be the bit that goes mouldy, if anything does, because everything else will be under the oil. So I just want to, again, try and minimise anything like that happening. And then I'm just going to top it up with a good layer of olive oil. Lid on, and then this will hopefully just sit in the fridge, and I can just have a little spoonful of it every now and then to zing up a dish. The website is clickandgrow.com, and on there it will show the entire range of gardens that they do. There's a couple of different ones, and also all of the different plants, so it give you lots of ideas. And let me know in the comments what you're planning on trying in yours. So if you are a fan of delicious things that you blend in a bowl and then smother on your food, hit subscribe, tap the bell icon and check out some of these.